Actually, in olden days, post office box is the device. Post office box is the device used to measure the resistance of the wire or resistance of the telephone wire between two post offices. In olden days, post office box is the device or instrument used to measure the resistance across the telephone wire between two points or between two post offices. రెండు పోస్ట్ ఆఫీస్ మధ్య రెసిస్టెన్స్ ని ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేయడానికి ఆ పోస్ట్ ఆఫీస్ బాక్స్ ని యూజ్ చేసేవాళ్ళు. ఓకే, అయితే దీని కన్స్ట్రక్షన్ ఎట్లా ఉంటుంది? సో విత్ హెల్ప్ ఆఫ్ ది పోస్ట్ ఆఫీస్ బాక్స్ we have to measure the resistance of the wire. It is similar to Wheatstone bridge. Already we know the Wheatstone bridge. Okay, so now how post office box is constructed we have to discuss, and how it is related to Wheatstone bridge. Let me explain. Okay, so here in post office box, here there are number of slots are there in the form of here on the metal bar having certain resistance. There are number of slots, that means number of holes are there in which the key can be arranged. Here that is taken the form of S shape. Here it consists of number of it is divided into number of slots like this. Okay, number of pieces. Okay, here in between any two pieces hole is there. Suppose here one hole is there, here one hole is there, like this. Actually here this is in the form of different parts, different slots like this. Okay, in this way different slots, it is divided into different slots like this. You see, this is one piece, this is another piece, this is another piece, like that. Okay, whenever you put the key, these two parts will be joined in series. When you put the key here, these two will be joined in such a way. You will see, I will draw clearly. Okay, here you see, here it is divided into number of slots like this. This is one slot, that means pieces. Number of slots like this. Okay, here this is one piece, this is another piece. There is no electrical contact directly. Okay, now here one hole is made here, another hole is made here. In this way, in between any two slots, holes are made like this. Here, when you put the key in this hole, then these two slots will be added in series. If you put the key here, these two slots will be added in series. Suppose if you put the key in this slot and in this slot, these three pieces are connected in series so that they offer some resistance. Similarly, in this way, the entire S-shaped piece is divided into number of slots like this. Number of slots. Of course, in books it is not given like this. It is divided into number of slots like this. Okay. In this way, it is divided into number of slots, and in between any two slots, a hole is made like this. Holes are made like this, and in the holes we can keep the key, so that if you put the key here, these two slots will be joined in series in such a way. Alignment is there. Okay, this is point A, this is the end A, and it is say B. Okay, here up to this it is the point C say. In between A and C, the resistance E is there, because in between A and C, these slots offer some resistance. No, suppose if you put the key here and here, then all these three slots are in series. Okay, then these three slots offer some resistance. That resistance exists between A and C. Suppose if you put the key in between these two slots only, and in between A and C, whatever the resistance of these two slots, that is the resistance between these 2 points A and C. In such a way, the internal mechanism is there. Okay, here in between two slots A and B, based on the keys kept here, based on the keys put in the key, the resistance depends. So whatever the resistance between A and C, that resistance is given by, that is represented by P. Similarly, between C and B, there is a resistance Q. There is a resistance Q. Okay, here this is A, B, C. It is a point D. It is a point D. In between A and D, one more resistance is there. It is a R. It is a R. Between A and B, D, some more resistance is there. That is a capital R. Okay. Here, suppose if you put the key in this slot, in this slot, in this way, different slots, in the different slots, key are put. And whatever the total resistance offered by these slots, that is the effective resistance between this A and D. Suppose if key is not there here. These are electrically contact. When key is not there, then these resistance are not included in the circuit. Suppose if you put only keys up to this only, whatever the resistance between all these slots up to this, that is only the effective resistance between A and D. Suppose if you put the keys on in all holes, then resistance between A and D is equal to resistance of all these slots when they are in series up to this. In this way, based on the number of keys put in the holes, the resistance can be altered. Here also by keeping the keys in the holes here, the resistance can be altered. Suppose if you keep the key in this hole only, then whatever the resistance offered by these two slots here, that is the effective resistance. If you put the key here and here, everything, then total resistance of all these slots, that is the resistance between these two. If you remove the key, resistance will decrease. If you keep the key, the resistance will increase. So we can adjust the resistance between A and C and B and C with the help of the keys. Between A and D also with the help of the keys we can arrange. So we can change. That is the arrangement of the post office box. Here you see, now I will draw the same diagram here. It is similar to, identical to. Here is a point A and B. These are the 2 points. Here you take the point C here and point D here. Point D here. Okay, now between A and C, a resistance P is there now. So based on the keys kept here, the resistance depends. That resistance is a P and is represented here. That is P. Okay. Between C and B, one more resistance is there. That is Q. So between C and B, one more resistance is there. That is Q. Between A and D, one more resistance is there. So whatever the resistance offered by these slots, that is R. So between A and D, one more resistance is there. That is R. Between B and D, D is here, D is here. Between B and D, some unknown resistance or any known resistance, some unknown resistance is connected here. That is say PQR, yes, it is a yes. Suppose if you want to find the resistance offered by the telephonic wire, the two ends of the telephonic wire must be connected between this point and between this point. Then that gives the resistance offered by the telephonic wire. Okay, so this is the resistance to be measured. It is the resistance to be measured. Okay, so between B and D, one resistance which is to be measured, that is connected. That is yes. Okay, here across A and B, here it is just like a Wheatstone bit circuit now. Between C and D, a Gall-Lamett is connected actually here. Here actually in between C and D, a Gall-Lamett is to be connected. Gall-Lamett offers resistance G. So here also between C and D, C is here, D is here. So between C and D, you connect the Gall-Lamett. You connect a Gall-Lamett between C and D. In the diagram between C and D only, no. So here you connect the Gall-Lamett between this one. So let's say here between C and D, a Gall-Lamett is connected like this. Of course, we can draw the diagram like this also. Because to the same point D, this wire is connected, this wire is connected. Okay, that's why I drawn like this. So between A and D, a Gall-Lamett having resistance G, internal resistance G is connected. Next, across which points the cell is connected? Cell is connected between A and B, no? A cell with black key is connected here, no? having such EMF. That's why cell is connected between A and B. A is here and B is here. So between A and B, a cell is connected. Here between this wire and this wire, there is no electrical contact. That's why just you draw with curved line. This represents there is no direct contact between this wire and this wire. Okay, now here a cell is connected like this. We can draw like this. This is the Wheatstone bridge circuit. Sorry, it is the post office box. It is similar to Wheatstone bridge circuit. Okay, here the resistance which is to be measured is the resistance offered by the telephonic wire between the two post offices, or suppose if any telephone problem is there, because of telephone wires breaks at some places. Telephone network problem is here is not there because totally network is completely properly it is working. So I think network problem is not there here. Remaining people you respond, are you getting the voice clearly or not? Remaining people, what about video and audio? You are not getting. One minute, I will adjust. Here there is no technical problem. It is working properly only. Bluetooth is working properly and signal is also very, I think about 60 Mbps speed is there. Signal is also good. So, Pawan Kumar, are you getting voice signal properly? Oh, okay, right. So it is similar to the Wheatstone bridge. That's why whatever the suppose here we see between the two ends of the telephonic wire, if you want to find the resistance here, okay, we have find the resistance here. So the two ends of the telephonic wire you must connect between these 2 points. Then what is the resistance? Okay, now to find them, you adjust the keys in the holes here between A and C, C and B, and A and D. You adjust the positions of the keys so that the galvanometer shows null deflection. Galvanometer shows null deflection. When galvanometer shows null deflection, then you can use the Wheatstone bridge condition whenever the Wheatstone bridge is balanced. What is the Wheatstone bridge condition? P by Q is equal to R by S. No, this tag is similar to that one. That's why you can use P by Q is equal to R by S. So here P by Q is equal to R by S. By using this formula, we can find the resistance of the telephone wire. Okay. Here in some in mains, once they asked where the galvanometer is to be connected, where the here that is connected between A and B. Then they asked where the galvanometer is connected means definitely in between which points the cell is connected. At the middle of those 2 points and the other end of the post office box here, the galvanometer is to be connected. That's why in the options between C and D, galvanometer is to be connected. Unknown resistance must be connected between B and D. That is important. That is the question they asked actually. That is the question they asked. Even if you are given the resistances here and here, What is the unknown resistance means? By using this formula, we can calculate the unknown resistance. It is the post office box. So it is similar to Wheatstone bridge circuit only. So post office box is similar to Wheatstone bridge circuit. Post office box is similar to Wheatstone bridge circuit. Wheatstone bridge circuit. Here, by using this post office box, in olden days, where the telephone wire is broken, up to that broken point, what is the resistance offered? They measured, and if they know the resistance of the broken wire from the end where it is broken to the initial point, the first end of the telephone wire, by measuring the resistance, what is the length of the telephone wire they measure? Based on that, they send the engineer to that point where it is broken exactly, and then rectify the problem. In such a way, in olden days, they using the post office box, but nowadays it is not using this post office box. Different instruments has designed. That's why nowadays it is not using. Okay, this is the post office box. Okay. Next, delta transformation method. Suppose if you are given unbalanced Wheatstone bridge, suppose if the balanced Wheatstone bridge is given, if the Wheatstone bridge is balanced, then no current passing through this galvanometer. That's why we can ignore this resistance galvanometer. As in Wheatstone balanced condition, as no current passing through the galvanometer, even it offers some resistance, as no current passing through them, then this galvanometer can be ignored, or any resistance here can be ignored if this Wheatstone bridge is balanced. When you ignore them, between A and B, this P and Q are in series, and R and S are in series. Then in between A and B, effective resistance here is P plus Q, here is R plus S. So effective resistance between A and B now is, this is say R1, this is say R2. As they are in parallel between A and B, then we can write effective resistance between A and B is equal to R1 R2 by R1 plus R2. R1 means P plus Q, R2 means R plus S. In this way, we can find the effective resistance. Suppose if the Wheatstone bit is not balanced, if Wheatstone bit is not balanced, in such case, how we can determine the effective resistance? If Wheatstone bit is not balanced, in such case, already we are having problem in our material also. By Kirchhoff's first law and second law, by dividing the current into the number of parts, applying the Kirchhoff's first law and second law, we calculated the effective resistance between the 2 points of the unbalanced Wheatstone bit. The concept was by that method, somewhat it is difficult to measure the effective resistance of the unbalanced Wheatstone bit. But how we can find the effective resistance of the unbalanced Wheatstone bit in a simple manner? Delta transformation method is useful, and that use the simple solution for calculating the effective resistance of the unbalanced Wheatstone bit. Okay, now we have to discuss the delta transformation method. Somebody else asked me that delta transformation method also. Of course, this post office box also somebody else asked me. Delta transformation method kuda evaru adigaru nana. So వాళ్ళ గురించి I am telling again here. Delta to Y transformation. Y transformation. So here it is used to find effective resistance of unbalanced Wheatstone bit. Unbalanced Wheatstone bit. Unbalanced Wheatstone bit. So it is used to find the effective resistance of unbalanced Wheatstone bit between the points A and B. Suppose here, in case of Wheatstone bit circuit, here this is A, B, C, D. Okay, here these are the resistances P, Q, R, S. And here a galvanometer is there. It offers some resistance, say G. Of course, you don't feel that it is a galvanometer. It offers some resistance. So between C and D also some resistance is there. here P by Q is not equal to R by S. P by Q is not equal to R by S. That's why it is not the balanced Weisstein bridge. So it is unbalanced Weisstein bridge. In between here between A and B, in order to find the effective resistance of the unbalanced Weisstein bridge, now we have to use this delta transformation method, delta to Y transformation method. Okay. Okay, I will explain. So here between A and B, what is the effective resistance they asked? Between A and B, effective resistance is AB. Suppose if it is balanced Weisstein bridge, already I said between A and B, how we can find the effective resistance? Just now I said. If it is unbalanced Weisstein bridge, now between A and B, in order to find the effective resistance, it becomes tricky, complex. So in this case, how we can measure the effective resistance? Are you getting my voice or not? Remaining people, you respond please immediately. Are you getting my voice or not? Sound is not clear. Okay. Are you getting now? Are you getting voice now? Are you getting voice now? Okay, right. Okay, here it is the unbalanced Weisstein bridge. In case of unbalanced Weisstein bridge, already we know it is difficult to find the effective resistance. So in this case, you see, to find the effective resistance of the unbalanced Weisstein bridge, generally here we have connected this circuit to the cell, and when I current reaches here, that I current is divided into two parts like this, and that I1, I2. This I1 current when reaches the junction divided into two parts. In such way, the currents are divided into different parts, and applying the Kirchhoff's second law for various loops here, this loop, and this loop like that. We got three equations and we solved them. In such a way, we have done the problem. In such a way, we have done the problem. Okay. Again, voice is breaking. Hello. Voice correcting on problem లేదు ఇక్కడ problem లేదు voice అయితే. That may be problem with your connection. Okay, just I checked. There is no problem here. Okay. Right. Now, in case of this unbalanced Weisstein bridge, how we can find the effective resistance? Here we see this circuit is similar to the point A one you take here. Here actually this is in the form of delta form now, delta shape now. The three resistance are connected. Here this is, you feel this as one resistance only. You feel this as a resistance G. Okay, these three resistance are connected in between A, C and D in the form of delta method. Okay, now here just you choose a point here N. We can imagine Here in between C and N, one resistance is there. In between N and D, one more resistance is there here. In between A and N, one more resistance here. This delta, the three resistances which are arranged in the form of delta, that is similar to three resistances are connected between AN, NC and ND. How? Can you see? Same diagram we draw here like this. Here you choose a point here N and C and D are here. C and D are here. Of course, B is here. It is A and B, C, D. We imagine another point here. Between A and D, one resistance is there. Between N and C, one more resistance is there. Between these two, one more resistance is there. Here, as usual, between C and B, resistance Q is there. Between between D and B, one more resistance is here. These resistances are not changing. These are connected as usual between C and D only. Only the three resistances which are in the delta form. These three resistances can be written in simplified manner like this. Here between C and D, actually the three resistances are in the delta form. They are split like this. Here in the form of Y shape, you see between C and D, the three resistances which are in the delta form is converted into Y form or Y junction. Okay, whatever these resistances, here you say this resistance is say R1, this resistance is say R2, this resistance is say R3. Okay, so whatever the values we have to use R1, use it here as R1, R2, R3. You see, R1 is between A and N. R1 is imagined between A and N. R2 is imagined between N and C. R3 between N and D. Actually, in engineering, electrical and electronics, when you take the subject, definitely this method is there. Delta to Y transformation, Y to delta transformation, the type of circuits are there more in engineering physics. So when you take electrical and electronics engineering, definitely you are having this one. Okay, right. You see here in between A and N, R1 resistance is there now. Here at the place of R1, what are the values we have to use? R1 is equal to you see R1 is between P and R. R1 is between P and R. That's why the resistance P into R by total resistance in the delta circuit. Here between A and N, the resistance R1 that lies between two resistances P and R. Okay, that's why this R1 is equal to P into R by total resistance in the delta circuit. That means P plus G plus R. R P plus R plus G. Okay. Similarly, what about R2? R2 means you see R2 is between P and G. Okay, R2 is between P and G because this is on the delta circuit. In this delta circuit, R3 is between this and this. The junction of P and G, it is connected. That's why R3 is equal to P into Z by P into Z by total resistance in the delta circuit. Total resistance in the delta circuit. That means of the same P plus R plus Z. Okay, next R3. R3 is equal to R3 is between R and Z. That's why R3 at the place of R3 we have to write R into Z. That means RZ by total resistance in the delta circuit. That means P plus R plus G. Okay, now at the places of R1, R2, R3, you find these values and you note here. Now I think we can calculate now easily between effective resistance between A and B. Now you see. Now if the circuit is redrawn like this, then we can find the effective resistance between A and B very easily. I think. అవునా ఇక్కడ ఈ సర్క్యూట్ ని జస్ట్ ఏసిబి ఈ మధ్యలో ఉన్న డెల్టా సర్క్యూట్ ని మాత్రమే చేంజ్ చేసాం బై జంక్షన్ లాగా మిగిలిన QS యాజ్ గా అట్లాగే నోట్ చేసాం ఓకే when you convert the circuit like this then effective resistance between A and B can be measured very easily because in between N and B these two are in series, these two are in series. Effective of this are parallel in between N and B, so effective can be calculated. This effective is in series with R1. You add them, then effective resistance between A and B can be calculated. No? Therefore, effective resistance between A and B, that is say RAB. RAB is equal to this R1 plus effective resistance between N and B. Effective resistance between N and B means this is the here the sum of these two is the resistance R2Q, R2 plus Q. It is R3 plus S. This R2 plus Q and R3 plus S both are in parallel. So effective R1 R2 by R1 plus R2. R1 means R2 plus Q into R2 means R3 plus S whole by R1 plus R2 means this plus this plus this plus this. So R2 plus Q plus R3 plus S. This is the effective resistance between 2 points A and B whenever the Wheatstone-Bridge circuit is unbalanced. Not only Wheatstone-Bridge circuit, in any circuit, if the delta form is there like this, it is a part of the other. Then, in order to find the effective resistance between A and B here, this delta form can be between C and D. The delta form can be converted into Y junction like this between C and D, as like this. Here, what about R1, R2, R3 means here these are the values. So instead of R1, R2, R3, you substitute these values here. Then you can do the problem very simply. Okay. So in this way we can do the problem. This is